Hi everyone, Chance from Scanify here. Today I'll be demonstrating how to use occluders, which is one of the many great features we have in Scanify 3D. So you're probably asking what an occluder is. For our purposes, it's a 3D volume used to hide objects within a model. In just a few clicks, you can remove things such as trees, structures, and obstructions from the 3D environment. I'm going to walk you through how to use this feature with two practical examples. For our first example, let's say we've simulated solar production based on a site's current conditions, but the homeowner would like to see how removing trees would impact production. With the Occluder tool, we can quickly trim the trees in question. Let's get started. Here's the site we're examining. You can see panels are placed and I have a view shed in the corner of the array. If we check out those view sheds, it's apparent there are trees to the southeast and southwest of the house. By adding an occluder to trim these trees, they will not appear in our new view shed. The Occluder tool is located beneath the All Segments tab on the left. Because this feature has no dependencies, you're able to add an occluder at the start, end, or at any point during the design process. If you click on occluders, you'll see two options for shapes, cube and cylinder. This feature is dynamic, which means you're able to change the shape later at your discretion. For this example, we'll use the cylinder. From here, click Add Occluder. You can move your cursor and click anywhere you want to place it on the 3D model. Once placed, you now have the ability to move, rotate, scale, and change the opacity of the occluder. Changing the opacity will make the occluder more or less visible depending on your preference. Whether the opacity is 0.1 or 1, its functionality remains the same. Personally, I like using 0.5. Now we can use the move, rotate, and scale functions to make sure the proper area is hidden in the model. If you've imported models on Scanify before, you'll recognize these. If you're not familiar, no worries. I'll be explaining these in more detail as we work through our example. The default function selected is move. No matter where the occluder was placed initially, you're free to move it wherever you'd like in the model. By clicking and dragging the arrows, we can move along the X, Y, or Z axis. By clicking the squares between the arrows, we can move across the X and Y plane or the Y and Z plane. Also, by selecting the diamond in the center, we can move around the model freely. Interacting with the model between moves will help you achieve perfect placement. Next, I'm going to rotate the occluder. Instead of arrows, we now have circles representing the X, Y, and Z axis. If you click and drag, the occluder will rotate along the corresponding axis. In addition, there's a fourth, larger, yellow circle around the 3 in the center. This circle follows parallel to the camera angle you're viewing the model. For tree removal, I like to simply line up the occluder with the side of the structure as shown here. Last, I'm going to scale the occluder to match the area I want removed. By clicking the corresponding arrows, we can move along the X, Y, or Z axis just like the move function. By selecting the square in the middle, it will scale along all axes proportionally. Make sure the entire section of trees is completely covered before you take your view shed. Because the occluder is dynamic, we can toggle between volumes even after moving, rotating, and scaling. Now you can see our occluder is hiding trees in the model. If I take a shade reading in the same spot as before, the trees do not appear in the new view shed. In addition, the solar access and TSRF values have increased as a result. For our second example, let's say a customer wants to remove an AC unit from their flat roof. Because the unit casts a shadow on the proposed array, removing this will improve solar access. Looking at the unit in question, a cubicle volume is best fit for this obstruction. With that selected, I can now click to place the occluder. To achieve desired placement, I'll need to toggle between the move, rotate, and scale functions to ensure the full AC unit is hidden in the model. Now, with the vent hidden, if I take a view shed in the same spot, you can see it is no longer accounted for in the view shed. In addition, our solar access and TSRF values have increased as a result. Like all other model features in Scanify 3D, the occluders you create are stored in the design upon saving. If you're adding an occluder to a copied version of a design, it will save within the copy. To see a list of individual occluders you've made for a project, simply click the plus button to the left. By hovering your mouse over an occluder, you can rename or delete them accordingly. From there, you can turn on or off individual occluders, or all of them at once, by selecting the corresponding radio box. We're beyond excited for you all to use the occluder feature as well as many others we've added. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're always happy to help. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more tutorials.